Now he knows that DNA can upload and download information. Crazy. The secrets of the universe is probably encoded into our body because we're just recycled atoms.
Human beings are currently a civilization in its infancy, struggling to learn how to walk and navigate the complexities of existence.
When human beings are like babies right now as a civilization, trying to learn how to walk. And right now we're barely crawling, and then we plop down on our stomach and everybody screams and cries. But we're getting to the point eventually where we'll go to the edge of a table and pull ourselves up. And then we'll take a couple of steps, and then we'll fall again. Everybody will think it's all over. Oh my God, we were doing so good, and it collapsed again. But no, that's just a fall.
Billy Carson explains that we are navigating the intricate process of controlling our own descent, challenging our resilience and adaptability.
The baby will pull itself back up, it'll cry less, and it'll take more steps until it falls again, until it can get this controlled fall. And that's the definition of walking, controlling your fall. So we're in that process now. Like you said, this is a proving ground for us to be able to develop consciously, spiritually, ascend to higher levels. And eventually, I'm pretty optimistic for mankind that we will get through this period.
The ancient beings were creating breakaway civilizations throughout the entire Milky Way galaxy because planets won't be habitable forever.
It proves what these ancient beings were doing. They were creating breakaway civilizations throughout the entire Milky Way galaxy because of what you just said. The fact that, planets won't be habitable forever. Even Earth, let's say Earth never moved and stayed right where it's at in the Goldilocks zone. We're going to lose our control over the weather because the moon is moving away at a few centimeters every single year.
As the moon backs off of Earth, our weather patterns are going to get more hectic and chaotic, where life won't be able to exist.
And as the moon backs off of Earth, our weather patterns are going to get more hectic and chaotic, and the wobble's going to be uncontrollable to the point where life won't be able to exist. Not our kind of life won't be able to exist on this planet. So just losing the moon alone in a few million years is going to destroy us. So we have to create breakaway civilizations. We have to get out of here, which is what all these other advanced civilizations in these ancient texts have done.
We need to know how to overcome what's been embedded into our epigenetic memories because we're suffering from epigenetic mental hysteria.
It's a real archaic mindset. We have to find a way to rise above. This is why we need to understand exactly what happened and how do we overcome what's been embedded into our epigenetic memories, because we're suffering from epigenetic mental hysteria, which is psychosis. In this psychosis, we've been programmed as human beings to have consumption and fighting and competition over collaboration.
Yeah.
Everything has been completely designed to keep us separate for millennia. But why is unity so threatening, and who benefits from our division?
Everything is designed to keep us separate. Divide and conquer is the main mission, and it works so well for so many thousands of years. And this divide and conquer tactic that's been burnt into our DNA and our code has put us in a situation where we are not advancing as we should be. We're getting now this technology leaked out to us, and yes, that's advancing pretty fast, but consciously and spiritually, it's holding us back. But everyone's putting themselves in boxes and saying, I'm a part of this thing and I'm a part of that thing, and then we don't work together. I mean, they're masters at neuroscience. Applying neuroscience to the general population, they are masters at it. And they know how to get into the psyche of a human being, and they know how to turn us against each other while they themselves chop it all up. Like I always say, there is no Democrat or Republican. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is a group of elite oligarchs that torture men, women, and children worldwide. That exists. They capitalize and monetize us, and they put their boot on our neck. But to think that there's left wing and a right wing, I think it's the same bird. And the evidence of that is in tablets called the myth of Adapa, which means first man. The myth of Adapa, an ancient Sumerian text. It's a tablet. And in this tablet, you can buy the book Myth of Adapa on Amazon. You can read it for yourself, completely translated. And translated by scholars, by the way. And it's talking about the fact that according to the Anunnaki, human beings were created in a way that genetically, we were supposed to become more superior than them. They didn't know this was going to happen. And Lil was angry at his brother Enki because Enki put a little extra in the sauce. Yeah, a little extra. And he said that the mysteries to unlock the secrets of the universe is hidden within our bodies, and that we ourselves can rise to be even higher than them. This is a major thing to be putting into text like this. Now, who sits around and writes this?
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
How do they specifically describe that?
They describe it just like that. It says that human beings, or man, Adapa was created to be even higher than us, and that all the secrets of the universe, the mysteries, are within our body.
A scientist discovered 1 gram of DNA within a digital book. How does this redefine data storage, and what new possibilities does this unlock for the future?
And I believe that because when I started studying DNA, that took me into a whole DNA study. I discovered this scientist called George Church. And he created this ebook that he was able to take from a digital format, and he was able to download it onto 1 gram of DNA, a digital book. He converted it from ACs, T's, and G's into, from zeros and ones, He converted it from zeros and ones into ACs, T's, and G's, read, write, put it on the DNA. Then he said, wow, this is incredible. DNA can store information in a volume. Then he said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's replicate this book. So he replicated the book 80 billion times on 1 gram of DNA. And this is not just a regular ebook. This book had graphics and images and everything else in it. So then he said, let's see if we can get it back. So he created a read write again. He converted it from ACs, T's, and G's back to zeros and ones and uploaded it back to the server. So now he knows that DNA can upload and download information. Crazy.
Whoa.
So now they said, okay, well, how much data can be stored on 1 drop? Over 433 petabytes of data. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes.
What an unfortunate name.
I know, right? I know, that's a crazy name. I was like, why'd y'all name it this? Petabyte. But anyway. Yeah, so they said,
insane.
Now they discovered recently on holmium atoms, scientists have now written information, data onto an individual holmium atom. And they discovered that we can store information they can read write directly onto the surface of an actual atom.
Oh my
Now,
God.
think about that for a second.
Oh my God.
So they're saying that a human body can store 13.5 billion years or roughly of data, which is roughly around the time they believe the universe probably exists. So that myth of Adapa text could be accurate. The secrets of the universe is probably encoded into our body because we're just recycled atoms.
Right. And then as we evolve technologically and biologically, we develop a higher and higher ability to access that information.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. The longer we go, the more we're able to tap into this information, tap into who we truly are. We'll begin to walk in our power, look inside, go to inner space, not outer space. We'll begin to tap into this. And they discovered now that junk DNA is no longer junk. They're taking the term junk off of it, that it really has function. It always had function. It was never junk. That's just a word to keep us programmed into thinking that we're junk.
By absorbing the essence of our ancestors, we have unlocked the ability to communicate psychopathically, challenging our understanding of connection and heritage.
If you look at the tablets again, this is why I love these tablets, man. They talk about the fact that, they had created this being, not created from scratch, but genetically modified. They add their essence to it, is what they say, added our essence. So by adding the essence, you can see where all of a sudden maybe our ancestors were in tune with the magnetic field and were able to communicate psychopathically, maybe even had telekinesis and these other innate abilities, weren't technologically advanced, but maybe more spiritually advanced. And they tinkered with us and took away our memory, took away our ability to tap into that so we can focus solely on them. Obviously, the Noah story is inside of the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yes.
I believe that is a result of the Younger Dryas incident. In the Epic of Atrahasis, there is this strike of this either an asteroid or whatever it is that's going to hit. It doesn't specifically say. But they had the ability to stop it. And there's this other disk that has cuneiform writing on it, which is supposedly the direction that this thing took course through space to hit Earth. And so it was kind of known that this was going to happen. And everywhere you look on the Earth around that same time period that this is estimated to happen, megalithic construction stopped. What happened that everyone stopped at the same time? Unfinished in the quarry, unfinished in the quarry over here, unfinished in the quarry. All of a sudden around the entire planet, everything is unfinished. Something happened globally that made people stop working on these structures and go to maybe Darren Kuyu underground base, or in the Americas, that they say that the ant people, the Hopi say the ant people took them under. If you couldn't go under and save yourself, you had a ship. We know that Ziusudra in the Epic of Gilgamesh was told how to build this ship, but it wasn't a boat like what we know was said in the Bible. It was actually a disc he was told to build. We found the tablet for that. So we have the tablet in the British Museum. It was an actual disc that looked like pie sections on the inside. And he was told to collect his local flora and fauna and his local livestock, not 2 of every kind in the world. He didn't get 2 ticks and 2 fleas and 2, it didn't happen. He had local livestock, but he built a disc, not a ship, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, these stories are everywhere, it's pretty crazy.
We're getting a bigger and better understanding of our place in the universe as a whole, and some people are scared of that.
it just keeps getting better. Technology keeps getting better. I remember Hubble, when it came back with the 2 trillion sky book. 2 trillion galaxies is what it estimated exists within our known universe. And then the Webb comes out, and it's just showing this stuff in much more clarity, and it's probably going to make discoveries that are even going to surpass, obviously, Hubble in terms of the quantity of galaxies, and it just keeps getting better and better. We're getting a bigger and better understanding of our place in the universe as a whole, and some people are scared of that. This is why they don't want it to get out. They don't want the information to be put forth that's going to change the paradigm. But the paradigm is not to be afraid. The paradigm shift is about to be embrace this new huge part of us that's connected directly to us. We're part of it, and it's part of us intrinsically, energetically. And I think people are just afraid of what they think is the unknown because it makes them feel small. When I hear all this stuff going on out there, it makes me feel bigger because I know that I am part of it. Microsoft has created the very first DNA hard drive. So it's a molecular hard drive that works on technology that's hardware and also biological software. And so a device, a hard drive the size of my cell phone can store an enormous amount of petabytes of data. So things like teleportation are going to be possible in the near future. We've already teleported, I think, a couple of particles from Earth to the space station, right? But what's stopping us from teleporting a human being? Understanding and knowing the location of every atom and the rotation and spin rate of every atom. That's a lot of information, a lot of storage space. Now with DNA hard drives, the storage space problem goes away. We'll be able to teleport biological beings or objects, big objects, into space or wherever we want on the planet.
Like Star Trek.
Like Star Trek. So everything is saved. All of your information is saved. And we know that was done also in ancient times. Thoth talks in the Emerald Tablets about being able to go into these halls of Amenti where he had rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe is the Serapeum in Saqqara. And he would go into these gigantic stone boxes, and he would then transfer his consciousness from his body into another body. And he would leave the body that he left inside of one of those gigantic boxes, one of those gigantic diorite stone boxes for 100 years while it recharged itself and rejuvenated, while he said he walks amongst men, but unlike a man.
What?
Yeah. And he would do this for eons. He would transfer from body to body, not bodies he stole, bodies he created, that he created himself through probably some advanced form of stem cell technology. And he would walk amongst men, but unlike a man. And he was known all around the planet because of this. The guy lived according to the ancient Egyptians, he ruled over them for 16,000 years, one person.
The existential of ancient tablets with modern scientific understanding suggests a deeper connection beyond coincidence. What implications does it hold for our understanding of history and science?
They discovered that chromosome number 2 was taken out. They call it an artificial mutation. They mean geneticists. Fused together and 2 telomere caps put on, 1 telomere cap on each side. Who in the world took chromosome number 2 out, fused it together, and put telomere caps on it? And they say that it happened as an estimated 200,000 years ago, right at the time that the Sumerian tablets say they decided to make mankind to do the labor. There's no coincidence that the tablets are aligning with modern science. And this means that a couple things. The first thing, it means that we were genetically modified. The second thing that it means is the telomere caps limit our lifespan to about 120 years max, according to Harvard scientists. Now, in the Bible, what does it say? It says that my seed shall not abide in man forever. His years shall be 120. That was taken from the Sumerian tablets, even further back than that, thousands of years before the Bible was written, when Yahweh, a.k.a. Enlil, shows back up, sees the human beings building a tower into the heavens, copying a tower that they themselves had built. It pissed him off, and he said, whatever their hearts decide to do, they shall achieve it. My seed shall not abide in man, his years shall be 120. And then he did a genetic modification at that point, I believe, with the telomeres, and he spread mankind out around the planet, and he confused their languages. He had us speaking different languages, so we couldn't collaborate. Now we're in competition, no collaboration, divide and conquer.
And there's the Tower of Babel.
That's it. That's it, man.
So it was all done just to keep us from rising.
Yes. We were advancing too fast, and he had to slow us down. If we shorten their lifespan, then they won't have enough time. By the time they realize who they are and what power they have, they'll be... And see, that's what's happened to us.
The Enuma Elish portrays Nibiru as one of our solar system's planets, raising intriguing questions about ancient astronomical knowledge.
Well, you have to look for geological disasters as marker points. This object, this Nibiru planet, which is mentioned, by the way, in the Enuma Elish, it's not a fabricated name, just so people know that's a real name. In the Enuma Elish, the oldest version of the Enuma Elish, it says Nibiru as one of the planets. But you look at the time frame when this thing gets close, it orbits another planet, another star. So it orbits a brown dwarf star. This brown dwarf star has the same amount of mass as our sun, but it's much smaller, right? But it generates enough heat through friction and it's orbiting planets. You can see it in 2-mass infrared mode coming out of the constellation of Leo if you go to a worldwide telescope and download the software and all of that. But the fact that modern science now admit that there's an object out there that they say orbit our sun every 4,200 years, right? And that's Corey Powell from Discovery Magazine. He's a real astronomer, been on Fox News. He said that on Fox News. If I can find the clip, I'll send it to you, matter of fact. And so what's happening is we are seeing evidence that there is something out there that's orbiting our sun, and that our sun is a binary star system. So we used to think that our sun, one sun in the solar system, is normal. But as they looked out into space with Hubble and now the Webb, they discovered, no, binary is more of the normal, and even trinary. And so it's like, wait a minute, if binary is normal, so they started looking for this object that gravitationally should exist, and they believe that it's out there far beyond the orbit of Pluto, and that Corey Powell says a solar system exists within our solar system. And he goes on to say, we come from there on Fox News, which was just crazy.